For EDT 510, this is my guided art and literacy lesson that connects visual arts, writing, and speaking on the topic of the famous Mexican artist Frida Kahlo. After exposure to imagery and background information on Frida Kahlo and her self-portraits, the students will be able to verbally articulate the nature of her work and other associated vocabulary, including facial proportions, balance, composition, symbolism, and culture. Students will then apply the knowledge gained towards parts of the speech exercises, making a list from the images of Frida Kahlo's paintings of nouns, verbs and action, adjectives, and sentences generated from reviewing the artwork. Students will journal the way the artist was like them in terms of their feelings, their family, their interests, their personalities. Students will write a letter to Frida Kahlo or write a story about her based on her pictures. The learning objectives are for the student to be able to explain where Frida was from and other details about her life, explain that Frida created her art with paint, differentiate between different colors, lines, shapes, and styles. The class will begin with class introductions, such as where are you from, and an opportunity for students to converse with each other about their countries of origin. The question will be asked, have you heard of Frida Kahlo? What I know, what I want to know, and what I learned chart will be used throughout the class. The textbook chosen for this class is Frida Kahlo, written and illustrated by Mike Venezia, who did a series of books on getting to know the world's greatest artist. This is a light-hearted textbook that is appropriate for intermediate level adult English language learners. Likewise, the pictures or paintings by Frida Kahlo to be used in the class include, from the Frida Kahlo website, Self-Portrait with Necklace of Thorns, Portrait with Monkey, Self-Portrait with Bonita, and my personal favorites, Me and My Parrots from 1941 and Frida Kahlo as the Wounded Stag. Other materials to be used in the class include a word search. This is created, as you will see in just a moment, from the website puzzlemaker@discoveryeducation.com. And what I have done is I've taken words from the textbook and put them into the website so that a puzzle could be created. This keeps the entire lesson in context and does not introduce any new material. Everything focuses back on the textbook, Frida Kahlo. Additional material to be used will be cloze tests. This is a cloze test that I have created myself simply by choosing words from the textbook and words that are anticipated in our conversations, and then asking the students to fill in the blank. A standard cloze test for English language learners. Because part of the exercise is to draw their own self-portraits, I did find on a website a proportions of the face information sheet. This was given to me, the notion was given to me to use this by an art teacher, of course, because I'm not an artist and I would not know how to draw a face, but using the proportions of the face sheet, anyone can draw a reasonable resemblance of the face. Finally, an additional test would be an unscramble the clues test, again on the topic of Frida Kahlo, and this, I don't have the website listed, but this was something that I also got from the Puzzle Maker website. Finally, I'm really not sure how I would do the rehearsal run-through because this workshop was designed to be 2 90-minute sessions on 2 consecutive Thursdays for 10 participants. But I will tell you a brief outline of the workshop. It would begin, of course, with the question and answers that I showed earlier on the board, with introduction, what do I know, what do I want to know, what did I learn? And then the workshop would begin in earnest by showing pieces of Frida's art to the class, going for questions of inquiry, asking the students to look at the art and to tell me what do they see, what is going on in the picture, and then ask them to explain what makes them say that about the picture. I would ask the students, what do you notice? What are the colors and the shapes and the objects? What pops out to you as a symbol? When I did the workshop in June, all of the participants were from Mexico, so most of them had some familiarity with Frida Kahlo, and two of them had even visited her home. So the notion would be to ask them to tell me what pops out in the picture. With Frida, of course, it's the unibrow. And I would ask the students what makes the different pieces of art for Frida Kahlo different and what makes them the same. We would then spend some time during the first part of the workshop reading the textbook and discussing the vocabulary, reflecting back on the perspective of the writer. Then we would also talk about questions that they may have about the reading or about Frida. Finally, we would start the quick demonstration towards the end of workshop 1 on how to use a mirror to draw your face using the face proportion sheet. Then at the second part of the workshop, the following week on Thursday, we would actually pick up from there and finish the self-portrait. There would be paints and colored pencils and chalk and crayons and all sorts of materials available, as well as a digital camera with the opportunity to print the picture instead of having to draw a picture. If someone's affective filter is such that they felt they did not want to do a self-portrait, because discussions about personality is sometimes part and parcel to an adult ELL lesson, then the student could draw a plant or an animal the way Frida connected with nature and plants and animals. I would ask the students to draw and demonstrate thickness of lines and color, and all the while explaining and talking to me or to each other about what they're drawing and describing it. This is a great opportunity, again, to increase vocabulary. Then towards the end of the workshop, we would write the paragraph or the journal, whatever piece they feel comfortable with, and have the students reflect on that information and share their work with each other. It is possible that the workshop could be modified to run for 3 consecutive Thursdays, although when I ran the workshop in June, it was only for 2 Thursdays because of the availability of the library. So again, this is an intermediate low proficiency lesson, and it provides speaking opportunities in terms of autobiographical data, simple descriptions, introducing yourself in short assignments. There are listening components as students reflect with each other, or they listen to the reading aloud from the textbook. There is simple written material, and there is basic writing in terms of creating sentences and vocabulary. So I'm Susan Simone, and that was my EDT 510 assignment.